Now back to the Weekend Real Estate Report on 105.7 The Fan.
Hi, Carl Devlin here. We're back. We got two guests in the studio today. Jason Cahouse, Mainland Realty, our local realty expert today. And we got Lou from HomeGain, our national real estate expert. So, Lou, welcome back. And so we were talking ahead of time about, the market in general, answer some listener questions. If you have any more questions, 410-583-1057. But let's get to the heat of the subject here, which is what you were telling me earlier about, your interview with the Wall Street Journal, the 2012 Home Improvement Survey. Let's jump into that real quick and just, if you can, educate listeners on what the column was about and what you're seeing in the home improvement market.
Sure. Well, I spoke with the Wall Street Journal earlier this week, and the article appeared today in the Sunday Wall Street Journal. And the journalist, Amy Hoke, was speaking basically about home staging and wondering what the value is for home staging. And she spoke to a home stager and also to myself and quoted the HomeGain 2012 Home Improvement Survey, where HomeGain asked realtors what are the best do-it-yourself home improvement projects that you can work on that give you the best ROI. Now, we came up with the top ones were cleaning and decluttering and lightening and brightening. Home staging came in fifth and was recommended by 76% of the agents versus cleaning and decluttering and lightening and brightening, which were 99% and 96% respectively. So staging was not the number one, and there's reasons for that because not every home needs to be staged to sell, but just about every home needs to be cleaned up and lightened and brightened in order to get it on the market and make it attractive for home buyers.
All right. And then as far as, light and bright, in other words, if you have, dark, magenta walls or wallpaper, you probably want to go neutral, like light beige, whatever else to make the thing, change your lighting around a little bit. But I think also, like you said, decluttering. Sometimes people feel like, well, this is where we live, we're comfortable. When someone comes in, they'll think, oh, wow, well, they live here, it's comfortable. People don't want to see pictures of your kids from kindergarten all the way up through 12th grade, hanging on the wall. They don't want to see, your posters, things like that. Declutter, keep it nice and simple. Let the prospective buyers walk in and use their own imagination.
Well, I tell people sometimes, think hotel room. When you go to a hotel room, you don't see personal effects. Everything's nice and clean. It's been cleaned by a housekeeper. They usually leave the curtains halfway open, let some light in. Think about a hotel room.
Yeah, that's a good point. So
what? We hear stories of people who have extensive Elvis memorabilia.
I almost said the black velvet Elvis picture on the wall, but I was like, I'll skip that.
Yeah, exactly.
I've seen some crazy houses, though. Some things you walk in and I just look at my clients and we both think the same thing. How do these people think they're going to sell their house looking like this? And just, dirty dishes in the sink and just not clean. That's definitely, I believe it 100%. That's number one.
Now, based on your column,
most people don't have the ability to kind of see past that. Some people are very good at looking at space and thinking what they can do with it. But most people, they just get an impression. They see mess. They see dump. They don't see potential. And it's not even a matter of price. They're just not even interested in that house at all.
Yeah.
Right. I see that.
Now, would you recommend, based on the findings that you've had from HomeGain, that people are better off maybe hiring a cleaning crew to come in and do it since there's no emotional attachment? They can just go in and do what they got to do, clean the place, and then it's easier for the homeowner to maintain that? Or do you think a homeowner can do it on their own? My guess is the homeowner could probably do it on their own, but they may not do quite as good a job.
That's generally the case. That's right. And also what we do on HomeGain is we give checklists. So what cleaning and decluttering mean, what lightening and brightening means. So you can go to HomeGain and go to the Seller Tools section right off the front page and get access to all those tips.
All right, well, we're talking about the stock market's been bad, everything else. According to your article, imagine spending $400 and getting back $2,000. That's a 400% return on your money. You can't get that too many places. Yet you're saying, based on just the studies your agents told you, the latest survey, agents said spending $400 on cleaning is likely to gain sellers at least $2,000 more at closing.
Right, and not just that, you're probably more likely to get the home sold quicker. Mm-hmm. And as you know, the longer homes stay on the market, the less attractive they become. It's a psychology that there's something wrong with the house if it stays on the market. And one of the mistakes that home sellers do is the realtor says to them, let's fix this house up and let's spend a little money cleaning and lightening and brightening and perhaps even staging. And the seller is often reluctant because maybe they don't have the money. And they say, no, let's just wait and see what happens. And that's the worst thing that can happen because they wait, they see what happens, it doesn't get sold, and then they want to go and spend the money and get it fixed up. And by then, the home has already been on the market a while, and a lot of the potential buyers have already given it a pass.
Yeah, and the other thing I noticed, Colin, you think about this, but replace all the bulbs in the house. So you don't have a chance of a bulb burning out and, making an area look a little bit darker, or maybe you're trying to hide something,
Right. The real question that I discussed with Amy at the Wall Street Journal was whether you need to stage a home in all circumstances. And it depends, because if you're in a short sale or foreclosure, a home seller is probably going to be reluctant to put money into the home to make it look even nicer than when they lived there. And now they're going to be moving out, and they're really not making their money back. So it might not be a good idea if you're in that circumstance. However, if you are in a short sale and you're desperate to get out of it, maybe it does make sense to hire a stager. It really depends. I think it's like anything. A professional will always try to sell you their services. You just have to make sure whether it makes sense. And also, stagers, they may not look at it from totally an economic perspective. They will look at it also from an artistic one, because they're going to want to get in there and do a lot, and maybe they only need to rearrange a few things. They don't need to replace appliances or chandeliers and things like that. Now, not all stagers do that, but some stagers do recommend replacing some of your furniture or some of your appliances, or renting it to put in there.
All right, so as far as the cleaning, decluttering, light and bright, and everything else, those are all good tips. Staging can help, but I think at that point you want to recommend, or I guess listen to your realtors if you feel your house is a candidate for staging, because why spend the money if you may not need it? But also, one of the things I want to get into too is these home improvements. You did a bunch of stuff, different surveys on that. I think there's some surprises in there as well. Some people think, if I do this, I'm going to get, a big bang for my buck. Sometimes it's like you said, it's not so much that you're looking for the return on investment, the improvement. It's how quickly can you sell the home? Because if you're paying $1,500 a month in mortgage payment and your home lingers on the market for 5 or 6 months, whereas you could have spent maybe $500-$600 to fix something and sold right away, that's money out of your pocket adding up. So what are some things that people may be surprised about as far as the home improvements? And I know you also have a do-it-yourself list as well. There's probably a lot of things people can do themselves for not much money.
Well, a few others that came up very high were repairing the electrical and the plumbing. I mean, sometimes you come into a house and one of the light switches don't work. It kind of flickers and it doesn't work. They think the house is defective. If the toilet bowl doesn't flush properly. Some basic landscaping out front is also one of the top 5. Shampooing, replacing the carpets, repairing the floors, paint interior walls, update kitchen and bathroom, and paint the exterior, round out the top 10. What's not on the list, though, are adding additions, putting a pool in, and things like that.
Okay. Yeah, I see here, cleaning and declutter is number 1, 403% return on investment. Lighten and brighten, the 300% return on investment. Repair electrical and plumbing, a 293% return on investment. Landscaping, a lot of people don't think about this, but a few $100s could get almost a $2,000 benefit. It's 215% return.
There's
and then
curb appeal. People, before they even step into the house, it has to look attractive.
Yeah, the mulch, the edging, and all that stuff. So, and then to do it yourself, we have clean the clutter, lighten and brighten, electrical and plumbing, landscaping, staging, carpet, floors, paint interior, kitchen and bathroom, and paint exterior.
Now, before you go back to staging, one of the things that many people point out that part of staging is cleaning and decluttering and lightening and brightening. The question is, you go the extra step further to rearrange the furniture, set out flowers, play mood music, create better environment. That's a little different than just cleaning up the place and opening up the blinds.
I'm going to change subjects for a second. What are you thinking on these open houses? I have some realtors that don't believe them as much anymore. Other ones that I have one who she does a what do you call it? I can't think today. What's rush hour? A rush hour open house. She does it like on a Thursday to check if people are coming by, and she does it all week long with a big sign. And Thursdays outside with a sign or with a sign. And she actually got like 9 or 10 people that showed up on that Thursday for the open house because they drive by it every day and they're like, come in, kick the tires, and if they like it, they come back with the spouse on the weekend for the other open house. And she's actually sold homes that way.
Well, from talking to realtors that like open houses, they don't necessarily like them for purposes of getting that particular house sold. They like them for purposes of meeting potential clients who come in, look at the house. Maybe it's not for them, but then the realtor can give them their card and show them other homes.
Right. I mean, I don't do many open houses just for that reason. I'm not necessarily looking to pick up new clients. I'm looking to help my existing clients sell a home. So I really don't do them. I find that, not everybody wants to go look at a house between 11 and 1 on a Sunday. Some people like to look at houses at nighttime, during the week, on their schedule. So I don't do open houses, but some agents do like to do them, and it works. They potentially can pick up additional business.
Jason, you do get a bunch of people that are somewhat voyeuristic. They're just going into the house.
Sure, neighbors.
But that's
the
like
nosy
auctions.
neighbor.
Yeah,
the nosy neighbor.
A real estate auction, half the people in attendance are the neighbors out of curiosity or, to see what the house is worth. But yeah, you got to sort through that too. Well, here's something too. So the do-it-yourself project, you have the top 10 from your survey. So here I should say the next 5. Number 6, shampoo, replace carpets, 160% return. Repair floors, 110% return. Paint interior walls, update kitchen and bathroom, paint exterior walls. Rounding out the bottom 10.
Yeah, I mean, shampooing the carpets can be $200 to do your whole house. They come in and they do it in an hour and a half, and that's something great because when people walk in, nobody wants. You're going to buy a house, you don't want to buy somebody else's dirt.
Correct. And one of the things in Lou's article is that nothing screams clean like the lines in the vacuum cleaner. So after you carpet, vacuum all the time and show that too. Almost go back to your metaphor about the hotel room. So what are some other things, Lou, that you're seeing from agents? Are you seeing that more optimism in certain parts of the country, or you think it's pretty much everyone's cautiously optimistic across the country?
Well, no, actually, we're going to release our second quarter home value survey, which covers what realtors think the direction of home prices will be in 6 months and in 2 years. And also we ask homeowners where they think home prices are going to go. And realtors are pretty much split in the next 6 months, but it's trending towards an increase in prices. But the vast majority, close to 80%, both of consumers and realtors believe that home prices will rise in the next 2 years. So I suppose with that, there should be additional pickup in volume as well. Yeah,
Lou, you were talking earlier about California, Arizona, and Florida, and I know just from my knowledge, my family, my brother said Arizona's looking real good. He's out there, and prices are rising, and he's not able to pick up the income-producing properties like he was before. So I think we got to wrap it up here, Carl. You got to go to break.
Yeah, we got a quick break. Lou, do you want to hang for the next 15 minutes, the bottom of the segment, or?
Yep.
All right, good. Well, take us to the bottom of the show. We got another 20 minutes left in the show. Keep listening, 410-583-1057. You listen to Weekend Real Estate Report. Back in a couple.